Good evening, welcome. It's Tuesday, July 23rd, 7:30. This is the no, it is not. It's the Citizens Advisory Committee. And you put that consumer thing in yours, that's what got me over. Consumer. And I changed it. It's Citizens Advisory Committee meeting. Yes, present are Mr. Moraldo.
Oh, you put Community Action Committee.
Yeah, our superintendent, Dr. Chamley, our president, Ms. Fabiano, our vice president, Ms. Alvarez, and a board member, Ms. Ratner. And what we're going to do tonight is, Rashima was very nice to send out what we were going to go over tonight, and that was the draft of the letter that will be put on our website with a draft of an application for membership to join this committee. Anybody need it?
Oh, common shutdown.
Anyone else?
Where's your packet that in
I told Mr. Moraldo that I had a lot of changes written all over the place. First of all, it's the Citizens Advisory Committee.
What are we starting with, Gail, the letter?
We're starting with the letter. Okay,
There's a little Mandela effect happening right there.
so
Citizens advisory.
Citizens Advisory, and I'm going.
Community Action.
Yeah.
I do like that title.
I do
But
kinda
it's
like-
called Citizens Advisory in the policy.
I know
And
it.
it has been called that for the last 3 meetings, so I'd like to,
I'm
yeah,
saying.
yes.
I'll go through right now and fix them. Citizens
Okay.
advisory.
All right, so ladies, you all reviewed it.
Mhm.
The first thing on the draft was gear. I figured we could say Monroe Township resident or community member. What's your preference? Or something else?
Are we committing to Monroe?
We should.
Yes.
Yes.
Not Jamesburg?
Oh.
Yes.
Monroe,
So how about just your resident?
Your residents of Jamesburg and Monroe?
what, that sounds better. Mhm.
Monroe.
Monroe
Town-
and,
Monroe
Monroe
Town-
first, Monroe Township. Is Jamesburg a township or just Jamesburg?
No, they're a borough.
Monroe Township and Jamesburg Borough.
Could we just say dear residents?
Yeah.
Because
It's only gonna go to all people.
yeah.
Okay, so then fine, that's what I want everybody to, dear resident. I just changed the community action in the first paragraph to citizens advisory, same thing in the second paragraph. I had a question, a diverse group of individuals and organizations. I don't understand why organizations is there when we're looking for individuals. We might get those individuals who are involved in organizations to go back to them, but I think that would happen after we get the committee
I agree.
put together. So I personally don't think organizations should be there until we wrap up a whole committee and then put it in.
Sure. So I'll just give you my thought
Okay,
of why I was going that way. So if, let's say, New Jersey School Boards Association wishes to join our Citizens Advisory Committee, and our delegate is Ms. Ratner. If Ms. Ratner is not available, would New Jersey School Board send someone in a proxy?
But I don't think we want that. I think the point is to have only our residents. Am I correct?
I would think.
Well, whatever you guys want. That
Yeah,
just
yeah.
was my.
I would think at that time,
I would think only
Yeah.
residents
For
to
this
start
time.
out with. I mean, if this
eventually
committee
it
gets,
boom to organizations.
it could go fully into organizations depending on what members we get.
Got
I
it.
mean, they might belong to an organization or work for a corporation that would be willing to make donations to us, and we won't know that until we get our committee.
Got it.
And I don't like resolving either, if I may, Ms. Payne.
Whatever you like.
Well, I don't know.
Payne, you call me?
Payne.
Okay. Call me, Gail.
Maybe collaborating on?
When I see, I'm a big connotation person. When I see resolving, that means there's a problem, we need a resolution. Perhaps it's not a problem. Perhaps it's something positive, like wanting full-day kindergarten is really not a problem. It's a positive that we would like to have here. So I like addressing and discussing is good. What was the word you said?
Collaborate.
Collaborating on key issues within our school district. What do you think?
I like that better.
Good. And draft goals?
Okay. Under draft goals, I had put, for the first year, I know at the last meeting, Dr. Lehman had mentioned that the strategic planning
Mhm.
committee results resulted in a lot of finance issues. And I heard you speaking about full-day kindergarten. I really personally think that taking into consideration the younger population that we have in this town, that we should maybe this group focus on full-day kindergarten revenue. So I was thinking that would be the first year, and then I think if we finished it, or if we didn't, whether it had to go on to the next year, the committee could decide, depending on what Dr. Chanley and Dr. Lehman and everybody sees that we need to go on to a different topic. Is anybody have
I
comments?
hear what you're saying, and I don't think you're gonna find people in this room who aren't advocates for full-day kindergarten if we can provide it. But I don't know if the committee should limit itself to that specifically, as opposed to perhaps our goals include, creating programs for all children, school-age children, in the township, or something of that nature, or additional programs. So that way, like, we can certainly discuss full-day kindergarten, and I think it's a discussion that, we've seen, like, at the strategic plan, that number was probably double all of the rest. It's definitely, a priority, but not limiting it to just.
And I think the other thing we have to be careful is that this committee, although we absolutely want this, does not create a program. We have to be careful with your language
Right.
because they don't create a program. We want to hear their input,
Right.
how they can, we have some brilliant members of our community that might be bringing things to the forefront that we're not aware of. So I think we want it to be broad, but I do agree with you that maybe we want it to be narrow. So one of the things that we are, and this will be a topic of conversation tomorrow, when we have our legislative representatives here. We are so, as I'm an educator, and I think that, education starts in, before the child's born, I really am a believer in this. We need full day kindergarten, but now we're up against, and we're going to be doing our budget philosophy earlier. Normally it's like December, January, February. We're gonna be doing it in September because we're working, Ms. Allen, myself, and Dr. Lehman have already started working on projections, because that's all we can do. Projections, are we gonna have a shortfall? Will we be above the 2% cap? What does that look like? I just wanna make sure that we are cognizant of, we can't go after full day kindergarten if we're short, and I'm not saying we will be. Maybe we won't be, but if we are, we have to be cognizant of keeping our valuable programs, because remember, we're very over adequate, which is a good thing.
Right.
So I don't know how we wanna put the language of, so our goals can include, perhaps maybe,
Advocating for new.
I was gonna say advocating for new funding, advocating for the change of the 2% cap. That would be a big thing. If that 2% cap would change at a state level, that would be incredible for us.
I think that takes a bigger effort than one committee. We
Yeah.
talk about our goals being derived from strategic plan.
Right.
So perhaps we can look at the strategic planning information and come up with, like, some of the goals were, one of the things was we call portrait of a graduate. So one of the things is, what do we want the Monroe child, we may put one in that full day kindergarten preschool, to be as a good citizen when they graduate? And we're constantly talking here, for anybody that's watching that watched our very first meeting, we're talking about secondary programs, we're talking about dual enrollment, we're also talking about vocational strengths. We're talking, so it's a lot of things, so maybe it centers on a program.
I was just gonna, excuse me.
Yeah.
Mr. Payne.
Yes, go right ahead.
So I'm thinking about this, just thinking about the town. So we put this letter out, right? I know we're working through it. So now our town is so diverse, particularly when it comes to skill set availability. I think I would worry about our goals alienating, going back to the broad versus specific goals. And this is why I think that if we bring it back to at least a strategic plan as a starting point, because the strategic plan, I think, speaks to the district comprehensively. We talk about some financial things, we talk about curriculum, we talk about facilities.
We talk about vocational, we talk about special
Yeah,
education,
so,
broad.
yeah, or maybe not necessarily broad, but within the context of whatever the committee feels are not the immediate needs derived from that strategic.
So it's financial. The need is funding.
But we haven't seen this, I'm sorry, we haven't
No,
seen the
but
first strategic
have they-
plan yet, so how are we gonna?
So you're my liaison, well, that's what the whole thing is. So perhaps,
They did, they produced, so.
we just got it.
Yeah, so, right after the, 4th of July holiday, we received basically a compilation of the 3 public meetings that And there was no surprises there, is what we thought it would be.
Yeah, we're gonna share out what we.
The idea with that, so what we did was we brought it back to, our team, and over the last couple of weeks, and then what we're doing is kind of cleaning it up and aligning it to what is.
And we want to have, so when Dr. Lehman returns next week, we're going to sit down and we're going to look at it comprehensively. We could plug in and share it. We could plug in the one or two, for example, you could also keep them very broad. So the goal could include financial stability. Like last year, we were very fortunate that the community spoke and did pass the question. But are we stable? You can see what I'm saying? Are we stable? So maybe we have a broad term, financial stability, because then it allows us to go in any direction that we feel we need to go in. If you pigeonhole into particulars like full day kindergarten or 2% funding, we're making it very narrow. We're making it so.
So I wrote down advocating for legislation without specifically mentioning one thing to benefit the Monroe
Like it.
community.
Okay.
I like that a lot.
I can type this.
Yeah,
up.
she'll type it as
It's like, it's like a scribbled mess. And then I put discussing, continuing the word, the programs community members would like to see offered to the students of Monroe without specifically mentioning them or saying they're creating them. And then researching alternative methods of funding to help incorporate these programs into our district.
So maybe we call it program.
Potential.
Yeah, I was supposed to, I had a question about that. I
Yeah.
thought that was too,
Yeah,
you need to.
yeah. Program, it would be
that
program
more
growth.
broad.
You know, for example, we know that we continue with our computer science and we continue very heavily with our robotics. We also know it's very costly.
Right.
So if, and I'm gonna use the word God forbid, regardless of what God you believe in, but if God forbid, we are over the 2% and the recommendation, I bear the burden, let's say, of saying, if we didn't have a question, I'm not saying we will, maybe we don't need one. We're just, everything's speculation now. We would bear the burden of removing, what would we remove? What would that look like? So I think we want to be careful here. We want to grow, but we also have to be cognizant of the financial limitations. That's why I think about the financial stability. I like financial stability because financial stability brings in the state where we get money, brings in the tax base, brings in what we spend our money on. Like, what does that mean? It's generic enough that you could really take it in so many directions. Like, if we had financial stability, we'd have full day kindergarten.
Right. When I look at stability, I think of like keeping things the way they are. And if anything, while we have a long way to go, and I think we all realize that our funding has increased. So if we were talking about stability, we've actually gone above that. So when we say like financial stability.
Well, you do, but I have to make the
So-
statement, which is very important, and this is coming directly from our meetings with Dr. Lehman and Ms. Allen. As far as the state is concerned, we are fully funded.
Yes. They can-
Very important to know that. We are fully funded.
Yeah.
When we do our projections, because, and I know Ms. Allen as an accountant likes hard numbers, but we have to have projections. She's gonna have to utilize whatever our funding was, not a dollar more. We pray we don't lose any. We then also have to, so the reason why I want to bring that up is because funding, we didn't lose any money because they never gave us what we should have had in the first place. That's why we didn't. lose any
Right,
money.
but we still never lost.
We still never, like this district fraud. So I think we have to be very careful because the amount of money, I couldn't imagine getting a dollar more in any of the money that we got. If we do, fantastic, but we have to assume we're not. So we have to be able to,
I think we're saying the same thing.
Stabilize.
That's when you say financial stability, I think of keep making sure that.
we keep what we have.
And creating
In terms of
surplus,
funding.
that's what I think.
Right, in terms of funding, that's like when I think financially, it's like keeping what we have instead of trying to increase what we have.
Oh, like finding other financial revenues.
Right,
and bring
including
it.
the
Well,
But
Adam brought that up as part of the strategic plan, that they were looking for, that's why he said
that's,
finance.
and actually, I think we're on like the same wavelength.
Yeah,
So-
we
So the
So we
statement should
just have to
be
word it.
worded correctly. So, continue to, so basically, well, everybody would like to be able to grow their programs and save money.
Identify your alternative sources of revenue to help grow programs.
That's perfect.
Perfect.
That's perfect. And actually,
Say it again?
yes, say it again.
Identify and secure multiple sources of revenue that can support programmatic sustainability and growth.
Yeah. I
Happy?
like programmatic stability.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
growth,
they're-
and growth,
And growth, right.
I would put and or growth, and or growth.
I missed the whole.
And actually, I probably wouldn't have more than two goals.
No, that's why you have no more than two or three.
Good, very good. I think that's
Can you say
appropriate.
that one more time? Identify and secure.
Identify and secure multiple sources of revenue.
Revenue.
To support programmatic stability and growth. and we can chop that up.
Right, did you want me to read that first one to you again? The
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah,
Let's see how fast I can type.
advocating for legislation to benefit the Monroe
Don't worry about
learning
it.
community.
Don't worry about it. It's like when you take notes and then you can't remember it.
You're doing
So that's, this would be the first goal,
The first goal, the first goal,
Advocating for legislation.
to identify and secure multiple sources of revenue to
I think
support
that should be first.
So, the funding,
programmatic, what was the thing? Programmatic stability and or growth.
And I like and,
I do too.
And we're.
yeah,
So that would be our first goal.
yeah, I think that should be the
Anybody
first one. The
in
second goal is
agreement?
what he said. I like that.
What?
We all, no, what you're saying.
Oh.
We all agree?
Advocating should be one, identify and secure would be two.
advocating one, identifying two,
Yes.
and then
Do we want a third one?
the.
No,
No,
I don't think,
no,
no,
no.
not to start out, I don't think we do.
Too much for us.
I mean, if we get a group that's gonna work really well
Then
together,
maybe we could
then
expand it.
maybe we can extend it and expand it in the future, but I think we don't wanna overwhelm them in the beginning.
And I think these are two goals. Just in my most recent communications with a lot of parents that are very invested in some of
Why
these.
is BOE advocating?
They want
Wait,
to know
one second,
how.
we have Zach, Mr. Moraldo speaking, 1 second.
So, excuse me, I was just saying how a lot of the dialogue that, our staff, have been having with the parents through the enrichment programs and through these things there, it is not a secret how concerned we are about our ability to fund the trajectory. You know, we're expanding at such a rapid rate. Our excitement is curbed by the fear that we will not be able to sustain this growth. And we're not hiding that with the parents, because they know that we're trying to get into fifth grade and fourth grade next year. That doesn't come cheap. And so it's not a big secret that we need alternative revenue sources. So I don't think that this would shock anyone to see these as.
No, I agree.
No.
And they're broad enough that if we want to go in a little bit of a different direction, but they're narrow enough to keep us on focus point.
And it's not pigeonholed into a specific
No,
content.
no,
area.
no, it's every-
Our funding is drying up in all
areas.
new areas, whether it be social emotional learning, and there's grants out there, but it's a drop in the bucket. Pre-vocational training, special ed programs are extraordinarily expensive, so there's gonna need to be additional monies. So I think, and I think the community is aware of that.
But are there any grants or things, you read on the NJSBA websites that there's grants and things for special ed? I know Ms. Ratner sent us some information for the LACE meeting tomorrow night regarding monies and things out there for special ed.
Yep.
We just have to jump
The
on it.
grants are great.
And we do.
And we do. So
Okay.
Oh, advocates do.
we're going after a first energy grant right now.
Okay.
And that will get us to about April of next year, if we want it. So that grant won't be there next year. So there needs to be sustained avenues for revenue to flow into the district other than the tax base.
Right.
And I think that's the nut that all public school districts are trying to crack. And I think that we're all trying to figure out how to do it. And I think that we've been having these conversations in small dribs and drabs, usually one-on-one with parents that said we want to help. And I think that, and this is why I think that the committee is a good idea, because now we're casting a larger net and we can bring them all in.
More
one
parents, right?
conversation.
People that are emailing myself, emailing you with questions. Yeah.
I just want to stay on this, the first, thing we were talking about, the advocating. I feel like we're being redundant because isn't that what LACE does?
In which section?
The advocating for legislation to benefit the Monroe learning community.
So the only difference that I could see is what comes out of LACE, like our discussion in LACE regarding legislation, is what we bring to Citizens Advisory to say, okay, this is the
Yes.
legislation that we're focusing on, okay, we need to advocate for this, and then we bring.
So it's like,
So they kind of work.
I like that,
together.
yeah.
One,
You guys
yeah,
were working
one
on it.
advocates for the other.
Right, that was,
vice
so
versa.
right, if we had this committee last year, the letter writing could have been.
But I'm a hard committee.
yeah.
Got it.
I think that's an excellent idea.
Yeah.
So, and why not have it, it's that important, two of our committees should be focusing on that, because if it's important to us, the more hands we have working on it, the better chance we have, or we pray, that it'll come to fruition.
I always kind of envision this committee being like the boots on the ground.
Of LACE.
Of LACE.
Right.
Yeah, but Kate and I have spoken about that before, that when we first were talking about this,
Right,
and
they'll kind of
this
work
is
hand in
kind of advocating hand in hand. So,
My only other thought was when we had first discussed this committee, we said it was sort of going to come off of the strategic plan. And I feel like I had attended the first strategic plan meeting, so there may have been different discussions at the following meetings. But I feel like what people really enjoyed there was speaking about what they felt were the positive things that were currently happening in the district, the things that they felt, needed to be looked at, or added. And so, I thought there were some really good conversations that were there. Like, I know there was the new programs at the middle school this year for, the coding,
Code zero.
yes.
Yeah.
Which I think was fantastic. And there's definitely a push for those computer, science programs, but those were, an extra cost unless there was a.
That particular program is grant funded.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
But that grant is no longer there.
That's no longer, but what you're saying is not in contradiction to this, because based upon what we have seen so far, and we have to work next week on it, of the strategic plan,
Mhm.
these two are the large umbrellas of everything that was discussed with the strategic plan. So it's not like we're gonna provide the strategic plan, and you're gonna be like, well, that didn't make any sense. It directly corresponds to this, because when you talk about the concept of programs, we're talking about initiating dual enrollment. We're talking about the vehicular class. We're talking about the computers. We're talking about, it's all the same.
And I don't think we need anyone to come to a citizens advisory committee and say, I would like to see full-day kindergarten. I think the community has made it clear that if we could do that.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
I think of the person who came maybe for like the Labor League that had, brought these ideas. So I don't know if they have to include this as a goal, but I do think that should be part of.
But I think the first one hits that.
The advocating for legislation.
No, it's not the legislation. What was the first one?
Identify secure multiple.
That's it. Identify and secure. Someone could easily say, one of the programs I'd like to see is, I don't know, I'm thinking of something we don't have because we have so much. I'm trying to think.
There's also an opportunity on the application to talk about what you would like to bring to the
That,
committee.
yeah, and I have
Yeah,
concerns
let's
about
go
that
over
too. So I
Um,
think maybe we should, do we have anything else to talk about?
No.
Before the thought escapes me about the strategic plan though, Mrs. Radner. So our intention from the district's perspective, we haven't forgotten about the strategic plan, was to offer the public some sort of next step recap prior to the beginning of the school year.
Right.
However, it sounds to me like it would be more appropriate to do that before our next meeting.
Yes.
So when Dr. Lehman returns, we'll follow up on that. And
Well, I think the appropriate thing is
Yeah.
during committee,
Mhm.
we can, if you're comfortable with this, and you're the chair, you're the president. If you're comfortable with this, I think during this committee, we bring the strategic plan findings.
Yep.
And then the following board meeting, which is, 21st off the top of my head, then at that time, we can do part of our presentation because we decided that in September, we're gonna be doing our budget philosophy unless, because we want to be transparent and a lot of people are away in the summer, we want to be respectful of that. Unless in August, during the committee, we do bring it, because we can, we'll be done, but we wait for September and we do 2 presentations of the strategic plan from New Jersey school boards and the budget. Even though it's a lot, my concern is that anything you do in the summer, parents are gonna say, but I wasn't there, but I was away. So I think the more you do in September, the more parents have an appreciation and respect for the fact that you're really being transparent, because everybody comes home to go back to school.
And-
Does Breeze come to do the presentation for the final strategic plan, or is that?
He was here, and,
No, I know she
No,
was.
no,
I meant
no,
for
I
the
think-
final
oh, not the
presentation.
final, she was here for the third part, I was here for the third.
But
I was here for all of them.
they still, they'll still.
We can invite her.
Provide us with feedback, like, so before we come to the public with our final,
We have to.
they will vet it and make sure it lines up with, because it's their
No, those
grant,
had been
they're
a
hired
special
to do that.
meeting, so it wasn't, we're not even a special meeting, an additional meeting.
It's
But
right.
there will be a district communication, similar like a memo that
That
will
goes
send
out.
out to all.
But
parents.
my only concern, and then of course, my concern is that August, people will think, why are you doing it now in home?
My only concern with grouping them together though is that it becomes a long meeting and people lose interest.
Are
I
you
don't-
okay with doing it
I
in
don't
August?
wanna,
The strategic plan?
I mean, I would think
During the CAC.
there isn't a
Can we
date.
do one?
It doesn't, now, this is important, because I know that the public is watching. There is no requirement of when it has to be done by, because we're not required to do a strategic plan. A strategic plan is something that we decided, because we've had it here before, to do. There is no state compliance for requirements. So we could do it in October if we want to.
The budget in September.
I could do whatever,
Or the other, my other thought is if you do it in August, it's towards the end of August, everybody's getting ready to go. Oh, and then gearing up for the new, it's kind of gearing up for the new school year.
Our
I can go
timeline
both
is
ways.
projected in August adoption or approval.
Right, and we have no problem with that. I just want to make sure publicly we're comfortable with, we want to make
Yeah.
sure that, August 21st, some people are back, some people wait because we have Labor Day now, we're starting at Labor Day. I am comfortable at your directive. Dr. Chanley, I want it ready in August done. You want it done in September done. I do feel that the budget is a primary priority because
That
it's,
should definitely be discussed.
Yeah, that's why-
I also feel like
I
waiting
don't
until
think the
October to have
strategic
this.
plan should be in August.
That's
Yeah,
fine
I think
with me.
waiting till October
That
is
works.
I don't think if waiting till October, it's gonna overlap this.
August works.
This committee who wants to take information from it to
And
put in.
actually, if we do that in August, then we can utilize that to help form our board goals. as
Yes.
well.
yes,
Yeah.
which should align directly with
Like
the
a
protocol.
pre-discussion at the next.
Which makes sense to
CAC
me at that
meeting,
night.
board meeting Regarding the strategic plan and how it would apply to any CAC.
Is that, if
I didn't hear the first thing you said, I apologize.
So I,
he wants to have a,
which, I don't have any opinion on this.
So,
I was
does the
wondering,
committee want?
would the committee prefer a prior discussion at CAC to see, once
I agree.
Dr. Lehman and I and Dr. Chanley will clean up the findings.
I agree.
We'll come to CAC, we can see how it apply to our public communications,
which is the 13th of August.
which would be, and then that would allow us. to
Yeah, I think
make
that'd be
any
great.
adjustments.
Can we make that our agenda right now? I think that, yes, can the strategic plan
What
be our
does
agenda?
everybody think about that?
And can we, for,
That
we
sounds
get.
good.
Yep.
that's a good idea.
And that way, if we need to clean anything up before the public meeting.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, that's
It's
fine.
like betting it out between ourselves to have the conversation.
Well, also, I just, in hindsight, now that we're going through this, I'm a little regretful that maybe, because now we're trying to pull back on the strategic plan.
No, I like that. We're doing work, we're working by backward design.
No, I know, but so as a reference
Right,
document.
right, that was
clever.
Right, I'm saying, that's why we can't do it on here.
Yes,
It's
and-
Get it out there before this
Yeah, I-
comes to fruition. So-
Before we finish the letter, I have to put my little, the comma needs to come out where it says together. It says together we can achieve great things, comma, as success is always. a
I'm
team
used
effort."
to the grammatical
Yes.
correction.
So,
All right.
you get my notes.
Can I
I
give
have my notes.
One of the things in the letter before we go to the
Yes.
application.
Well, we're not finished the letter yet. I have a
I
couple
just-
things.
I skipped ahead.
I have a couple other things.
I just skipped
to look
ahead.
at.
Okay, so what I was gonna suggest is, do we want to put what the requirements are to be part of the committee so that people don't have to go to the application to see that? Like,
Oh.
you need to be a resident of the towns. I know we had discussed certain things.
No, I think, in the letter, I think it's.
I think what, if you're interested.
Interested, you'll go to the-
application,
Yeah.
then,
And then see that you're not.
Yes,
Yes.
yeah.
yeah.
Because if you're interested, you read the letter, and wow, I'm really interested, I'd like to be on this, you go to the requirements. It's kind of like you're starting a degree,
You
you
know,
read it.
Right.
it's more of, unless you're not a resident of
A lot-
Monroe or Jamesburg, right?
Who's
Like,
getting?
who would not have access?
We're allowing like all students to apply.
So we picked an age
We
group.
talked
Yeah, we
about.
talked about students after they had that meeting with them.
Right.
You were there.
I know, that's what I was saying. I just didn't know if we wanted to put that in there or just let anyone apply who
They're
wants to.
residents.
Well, unless we use the two reps for the Board of Education on the committee, if they have time for it.
And then during my, student liaison, there were some children we talked about that would be in the next level up,
Right,
because our reps will be seniors, so we want,
but you want them there.
right,
And a lot of people in the town that have come up to me about this committee said, put me in for it, put me in for it. I said, well, that was in my couple of paragraphs down. If this is gonna be so popular, well, a draft date, first of all, I wanted this out by September. Correct?
this could go out
The first meeting can be, will be held, I would say.
in October.
So we'll have all the results and all the applications and
So
people will be
when, what date
notified
would you
by.
want it, so you want it out? the
Well,
last
how much
week of
time do you want to give somebody to answer
I
this
think
3
30
weeks?
days. Yeah, I think so we lay out the timeline. We have our CAC meeting on August 13th.
Uh-huh,
Board of Education,
Where we are going over the strategic goals, the strategic plan,
right.
and
the
then,
21st is our official to the public
yep.
of the strategic
So
plan.
then, this should be released after that.
Okay.
That
After
last
August
week, you know,
21st.
after
Yeah, I agree.
August 21st.
Yeah, so the 21st is Wednesday,
Yeah.
so let's say it's released by, we could say that Thursday or Friday, which would be the 22nd or 23rd.
And then I would say by when
The committees are late, I love it
our committees in September.
The 17th and the 18th, and our Board of Education meeting is the 25th.
So then
God bless you.
we should have this, bless you.
I'm just,
Am I right?
I might have missed it. Why did we need to wait until August to send this out?
September 25th should be the board meeting. I have.
We don't, but I was under the impression that we wanted to
There's a
Wait
gap.
for strategic plan
codify
information.
and ensure.
I don't feel, I mean, I don't think anything that we're getting from the strategic plan is changing the letter or the application.
But I think what we can do is after we do it at this committee meeting and I do a presentation at the, I can reference this. You don't want something sent out and people don't read it because people
You
don't.
also want people to know what we are talking about, like if we're talking about wanting to have our goals derived from
Isn't that?
the strategic plan, then they need to hear what the strategic plan is. So we're talking about advocating
I
for
agree.
legislation, okay, well, here's the strategic plan,
Yes.
and like kind of incorporating it all together, then
As part of like the public.
Yes.
so that the public, so then when they're like, well, what is the Citizens Advisory Committee even looking at? Like, what are the goals?
And it could easily, so in our presentation, we can have, as part of the PowerPoint, in addition to speaking, people could see it, and then it could be put on our website with the letter,
Right.
with the application, and people say, oh, Dr. Chanley, oh, Dr. Lehman, oh, Ms. Ross, they spoke about that. You know what I mean? Like, it's a point of conversation. Because if we just send it out, people are gonna go, what's this?
I just know like Dr. Ms. Nina mentioned she want more than two goals, so I wasn't sure what additional goals were coming
No,
from, but it's more
not
about
any
sharing.
more than two goals
Right.
right now to start out with.
Right,
I
but
mean,
it's more about sharing what the.
Yes,
right.
Like what people, because otherwise people will get this and go, what is this now? And they may ignore it.
So if we're working off the timeline of this coming out after the meeting on the 21st of August, our next meeting would be September
The 17th or 18th?
14th?
Oh, 18 plus 7, 18 to 17th,
Yes.
because our board meeting is the 25th.
So then
18.
if you
18th.
put in a deadline of maybe the 15th of September, that's like 3,
Is that enough
Plus
time? though,
weeks
before-
Selects.
I don't want to
No,
give any
to have
more
them
than 3
apply.
weeks, because somebody will
That's
look
just
at
to
it and
apply.
leave it there.
and then we have our meeting a couple of days later.
We can look at what we have and we can,
Yeah,
Right.
have a
and
discussion.
then we have enough time to the October meeting
Right.
to make
and
the
then
selections.
Well, we have
can
to
make
make the
the deadline
selections
the
before
day
the
of the
October
October
meeting, so
meeting.
that it actually starts running and at an.
So maybe we say September 6th is the deadline, because we need the extra
I
time.
wouldn't do that right around Labor Day, like I would
Yeah,
maybe split the difference.
Well, because if we do the
Or
14th,
the day before the meeting. Or the day of the meeting.
no, that's a
Oh, the
bonus.
CAC is the 17th.
CAC, that's not enough time for us.
So I was, I'm sorry, what?
Did you want to have the results of whom would be selected
Right,
prior to the 17th
yes,
Of October.
of September?
of
she said.
September.
Oh,
Oh,
see, that's not enough
that's
time.
that's not enough time.
So if you want to have the meeting and talk about who did apply, we have 50 applications, we have
Yeah.
100 applications.
We have to go,
Right,
if we're very lucky, which we are going to be, to get all those applications, we have to go through them.
Can we do that at our September meeting?
We absolutely could be
So
welcome
if we
meeting.
make the deadline September 12th or September 13th.
No, our September meeting is the 10th.
No,
No,
no, it's a week later.
Our meeting is the.
Is the 17th is CAC.
Yeah, what we-
For the week.
You know what
We'll
it
do
is?
that Friday the 13th. I don't
You know why I did that?
Or Thursday the 12th, then that gives us the weekend to.
Okay.
Yeah, we have to have a meeting in 2 weeks later, you have a
Yeah,
meeting.
have for that
That's what-
following week, the September.
Can we have a working meeting?
I think we have
I
to have a
think
working
the
meeting
working
when we
meeting
get
is
the
good. A
application.
September working meeting.
So I was gonna suggest that too.
Yes.
Our board meeting.
Strong mind.
Yes. I like the idea of having a working meeting.
We
We're
have
very
to.
transparent. There's nothing wrong with that. We can have you'll provide us with a spreadsheet like data points.
So what, depending on.
Yes, we have to. You have to, if we get a lot of applications, we have to
And
vet.
we can utilize the
Them.
September meeting to go through everything. We can have even, and if we can have even them separated by, because remember how you talked a little bit
We had
about
said
children?
students,
Yes.
and then we had, seniors in the senior committee, communities, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, and then actual
Correct.
residents of the town and the Jamesburg.
Right. And Mr. Ronaldo, you'll be able to, so you're gonna have the website where they go on, you'll be able to get all of that and print it out and have everything available?
Yeah, we'll prepare the results in a way that you guys can read through.
So that was one of my questions.
I would just be cautious about having I was wanting to be fully, as
About
fully
the working
transparent as
meeting, okay.
possible. I would also just be cautious of reviewing applications and saying names.
Oh, no, no, no.
Publicly, so that has to be.
I think that has to be
Can I make a
done
suggestion?
in the,
Can we take our hour? Is it appropriate? Because, just so the public knows, these committee meetings are not required.
Mhm.
So everybody does publicly. We do them this way, at the discretion and the intention of the board. It's your meetings and we come as visitors. But it's not required. So perhaps that meeting is a 15-minute long meeting where we discuss everything without names. And then we work not on a recording for half an hour to 45
I
minutes.
think.
Yeah.
Working meeting, I thought you meant going through all the applications.
And we're not doing anything wrong. We'll let the public know. We're so excited to be here. We could say we have 100 applications, 50 applications, and then utilize the time.
Consider the overall number.
Yeah, because
Because we'll
that
still
meeting,
have our meeting.
you wouldn't have anything for that meeting.
No.
But the results
But the
of the
results.
application.
So maybe we open up the meeting
Right, you open the
publicly, right?
meeting up,
and say what we're doing, and then at the end of the meeting, so does that work for everybody?
Yeah, we can, say how many applications we have, the committee's going through.
And we're not doing anything else, it's not required.
And what we'll do is we can, and this is something else that we've learned from things in the past, we would construct the survey in a way, or no, I'm sorry, not the survey, the application in a way that any applicant would receive a hard copy printout.
Oh, just like we do for,
Yeah,
yes,
so
that
that
way
way
now
they
for,
won't claim that,
Amtrak.
they didn't, their
Yeah.
application got lost.
right, I like that, so you'll, similar to the way we do Apple Trap, it has been submitted, the bottom, yes,
Yeah,
I like that.
There's better forms that we.
I think that's great.
Ask really quick, and I know we have to move on to the application, but in regards to that,
Did you
have
finish?
there been individuals in the community who have said that they would prefer to, like, from what you've seen in the past, to handwrite their applications and mail them in as opposed to file them electronically? I remember we sort of ran into that with the advocacy letters.
Yeah, I have, personally, I've not had someone request to do it hard copy,
Yes,
but I don't know, that doesn't mean that hasn't happened before. I do know that some people do prefer, like, even like registering, or like, some people do not prefer to enter, personal information online, so we should probably have an answer to that.
Yes.
My only other thought was this, waiting until August to put this out there, was that it would be great to share the link in the different senior community newsletters. But if we don't have it ready by the beginning of August, then it wouldn't be able to be
Yeah,
into those.
because I think most of them are like the 15th of the month that come out.
Right, and then it would be too late for September.
Too late.
So we could do, I could think we can have everything, as long as everybody's comfortable with the fact that it doesn't need board approval, first of all, we know that. But we want to be transparent and show during a presentation of the board is where we came up with this.
We
Like,
can make, slides too to send to the community.
yeah, maybe, so I'm comfortable with doing that, I just want to make sure that, I don't want the public to be like, what are you talking about?
Right.
Yeah.
Not everybody's in tune, like we have people that come, we have people that watch, but what about the people that don't come and don't watch? Right. They may not know what we're talking
And
about.
honestly, if we do have it ready for the August newsletters, we could even provide information about the strategic plan being presented, so then they're aware, like, not that they're not already aware they're board meeting, but they can watch and see what is being discussed, and if that's something they want to apply for, but at least that way the information is in those newsletters, if that's something you can.
Well, what we can do also is if you look at the time, and so you said August 15th, so let's just say August, coming up with August 11th or 10th, like 4 days before the 15th. We can then, the next week is our meeting. So we could say, for details regarding this committee and the purpose, please watch the meeting.
Right.
It's a week later. So it'll go out in the newsletter. People will have it and go, okay, I'm not sure about this, but I'm gonna watch the meeting.
Yeah.
Right? So I think that makes sense.
One question I did have is how long is a membership in the CAC good for?
I would say for a year.
I would say for a year
And do we want
also.
to include that in any of our communications?
It should be the full year, so it should be.
Well, I think some of your questions,
Yeah.
your availability,
Right.
it can go in there, because, I had a question on that.
But she had some changes in the letter, which we should finish.
The letter also, two more changes. Wait, we had said when it was going out, the draft date was what, August what?
The first meeting will be held on, what was the October CAC meeting?
What is our first meeting date, which would be the October.
October, okay.
The date that the letter is going out on is different, that would be something we're still.
So maybe we don't have to put it there.
Something in August,
Do we need a draft date?
No.
which is we could say our first meeting will be in October.
Yes, just tell them the first meeting, and it'll be October
October
At
8th.
the October 8th Citizens
Right,
Advisory.
okay. The only other thing I had was down in, the paragraph, please consider. I think we need to add, we will be using our lottery system.
Yeah, I
if
agree.
There are a large number of applicants.
That's it.
Because people are gonna think, once they fill out this application, they're in.
Yeah.
But we don't know that.
I just,
Also don't want to deter people from applying either.
like, I
They think
think
there's gonna be a
Christopher
lot of
Alden
people.
did a good job of compiling questions on this application. If it's a lottery system, why are we asking?
Well, I was just gonna say
questions?
that. Maybe not.
That's
The only concern is, what, maybe we do put a disclaimer that we're very excited about your interest. My only concern is, I hear what she's saying, what happens if 80 people want to come?
Right.
I mean, I don't
I'm
know.
hearing a lot, but I don't know if they'll follow through with it.
Unless we don't have to even put that disclaimer and we just,
Are we capping membership as well? We talked.
we
about
did
that.
We
talk
had
about
said,
that.
I had said 12 to 15.
15,
yeah.
Right.
Sure.
And that's with the students, the David's program.
Not say lottery, just say kindly note, or please note, the committee will consist of.
Or if you are one of the 15 members
Selected,
selected,
that's
you will
good.
be notified
Right.
by.
There you go.
Yeah.
We want to go as high as 15.
Well, do we want to leave it at 12 and then the 3 children we select?
Yeah, I would
I
like
like that.
12 and 3
Three
students.
children,
Right,
and maybe it'll be odd people in there.
right, please consider applying for membership,
So much of your.
Yeah,
we should
yeah.
put the application date,
Yeah, I have a doctor.
and, right, so we should put what the final date is for the application. Please consider applying for membership to the Citizens Advisory Committee. Applications must be submitted by
September 15th.
September
Yeah.
15th, yes.
The board.
That's the day before our meeting, that's the day before our meeting?
That's.
Oh, no, no, no,
that's
no.
yeah.
Is the committee. And then the committee will be, so I don't want to say the committee will be reviewing applications, because this is also the committee.
If you just,
But-
I would say, if selected.
If selected.
If one of the
I like
12,
what
if
Katie
one,
said.
if
If
one,
selected.
if you are one of the 12 members
That
selected, you will be notified by.
I like what she
Me
said,
too.
yes.
Me too.
And we're doing 12, that's our.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm
I'm
doing
three
3
students.
students.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Fabiano, what is the date that we said we would notify them?
September 15th.
No,
No,
And
that's.
that's
the
when it's
application.
due.
we didn't do the notification.
No, you want to pick a date, you got to give them at least a week or 2 notice if they're going to be at the meeting in October, correct?
Yeah.
We could say by, I mean.
September 30th?
I mean, honestly, if we're doing this on the
We're gonna know.
17th, then you'll be notified by September, we'd say by
We could say
September
by the
30th.
End of September.
I agree. By September 30th.
That's the end of September.
That's a Monday.
That's perfect.
And that gives them a full week to plan. for the
Yes.
October meeting.
And then below, I had Dr. Chanley's name, and I
And-
thought because I'm
Yeah, I-
person,
I
to
just
put my name in there also, if that's okay with everybody else.
But the Citizens Advisory Committee, right, and the board.
Well, I'm the chairperson, and if you want to list everybody else, we can list you 3.
However you want to do it.
How
I
do you
don't
want
think
to
we
do
need
it?
to put everybody's name, I mean, we
Right,
say
I was
Dr.
thinking the
Family
committee.
and the Citizens Advisory Committee, or, I don't know.
Do we want,
I'm not in charge of this answer.
no, he's asking me Mrs. or Miss, I don't know what you ladies prefer. Not to have it, no, but I'm saying. I heard Citizens Advisory Committee, you said say the whole committee, not my name.
Well, I mean, if we want to list specific names, we can do that, or we can just list, because there's, other administrators that are involved, other people that are involved. I mean, we can do
No.
whatever you want. We could list just the 2 of you, we can list the Citizens Advisory Committee, we can list everyone.
And
My name isn't enough.
it's
because
the
I'm good.
MTBOE, not MTSD, right?
Right.
This is a function of the board. of Ed, so
MTB.
Yes, it is the function of the Board of Education.
Right.
Better fix that too.
Listen, whatever you guys prefer, how you
Take out the
want,
comma before they have to.
yeah, take out the comma.
Oh, wait, before, after what?
The comma has to come out
After
after
together.
together. Because it's together we can achieve comma.
Okay, how do you want
It's up to you, Deb.
Whatever you want.
Whatever you want.
now it's up to me. I would like to have my name listed as the chairperson.
I already typed in Ms. Gail DePayne, chairperson, MTBOE Citizens Advisory Committee, and I could copy the committee on the letter.
Yes, please,
Oh, okay.
that's
Copy
fine.
the committee, that's a great idea.
All right, fine, now we can go to
To the
the,
draft.
the,
He already changed the name.
yeah.
The date of birth, you really want to ask a date of birth?
I thought it was a little bit too long for an application. I mean, when I started to go to the back,
Mr. Morales, the very top application for membership, there's an extra.
Oh,
it's spelled wrong, yeah.
Yeah,
spelled
we
wrong.
know that's not his forte.
They should
Whatever
have
you do.
perfect it for you by now.
Member.
I know.
Well, you know when I type in all caps?
Are you a lefty?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, then is anything, oh.
And I noticed it too, but I figured he would correct it, so. I thought it was too long,
I think date of birth needs to go, because then you're,
If we're trying to.
We're trying to,
Designate
we want to,
seniors and non-seniors.
right.
We could just, I mean. we could
I
say
was,
already-
so again, just to keep behind the curtain, I was thinking that we wanted
How
to
about-
be able to diversify.
Can I make a suggestion?
the roster.
then your suggestion should be age group,
yeah, but like age bracket.
age brackets, that is very.
Yeah, like 25, 34,
Yes.
right.
25,
An age bracket is,
39.
I filled out many forms and surveys where they say between,
yeah,
That's- you could just-
age brackets, age brackets.
age bracket.
The drop down thing.
Yep.
right?
Yep,
Yeah.
eligible for.
And it's awful because I have to go all the way down to the end to hit my bracket lately.
You can do like 99 and above, and then you're good.
Oh, I'm not 99 and above.
That you wouldn't have to select that, so you wouldn't. be-
Okay. You didn't finish your statement. I was like, what?
Like back.
Yeah, you did. You caught yourself there, girl. I swear.
I like the personal background, occupation, education level, language spoken, I think is excellent.
Yes.
Mhm.
Under interest and purpose, is number 11 necessary? That's what I had. How did you hear about the
Yeah.
Who
committee?
sent it to you?
What's that?
No, that's what they're gonna say, you sent it to
You
you.
sent it
Yeah,
to
all right,
me.
that's a stupid question.
Yes, okay, so I
Okay.
figure I'd take
Sure.
that off. Number 15, please list any relevant certifications or trainings you have completed. I think we're delving too much into
I think
that.
occupation, education level. is
Yeah,
good.
I do too.
Now, at the education level, you can put next to education level, certifications, in other words, if they want to elaborate, that's up to them.
If you want to put, I don't know if you want to put
Another drop down,
drop-down bracket,
certifications,
PhD,
maybe someone's a certified EMT,
yes, things like that, certainly. But I don't think that's.
so get rid of
necessary.
15.
Yeah, that's just.
I like, are you comfortable using technology, but we don't do virtual meetings. Right, we just changed the
No.
policies, to get rid of virtual meetings.
We have to get,
I would get rid of
I would
14.
say, are you comfortable using technology?
Right.
Yes, for
Just use
communication.
technology.
What is your comfort level with technology?
Even better.
Beginner.
Oh, yeah, beginner, what is it?
Intermediate novice.
Intermediate novice.
Are you gonna put an age bracket for that? Because, because my comfort is down there too.
No, you're gonna teach.
I have my 7-year-old show me something on my phone, so, okay, 7-year-old grandson.
I think 17 is not gonna work either. Are you available for regular meetings? So we're gonna add on.
Like, do you mean regularly?
We already have our schedule.
Yeah, I think we'd take out 17 completely.
I thought 18 also.
Yeah,
Because
17
I
needs to
think
go.
at 18, we have to wait until we get a
Yes,
committee.
that could be in January.
Yeah.
My numbers are screwed up now because I've been changing. So are you available, are you available for?
Yes, you don't need any of that. You just want to say, I mean, if you want to say, I would take out availability, put the word commitment. How many hours per week or month are you willing to commit to the committee? Because maybe it's not a 16.
But do you even need that question? Because the
No,
meetings
that's
are
why they
once
signed
a
up
month.
for it. Yeah, of course.
Their meeting is once a month.
Never an hour.
So hold,
Short of-
okay,
Are you,
well, we each deleted
Yeah,
one.
well,
are
Very
you,
happy with that.
are you available once a month?
Why would you even put that?
Or you could say, are you available during the committee dates and list
Right,
Right. Do you have
Are
any
you available
conflicts in the
at
meeting dates?
7:30 PM on,
On.
and then list the dates?
Okay,
That's even better.
And it's yes or no?
Yes or no?
right, that's a
That's even good.
good idea.
And the
And
answer
then
is no, no,
if
no.
If no,
Please
please
explain.
specify,
Yeah.
right? Or please explain.
Because we
Might
would
just be
expect
one-
them not to miss.
We only need
Right,
once a month.
this one that like there's a religious.
Oh, exactly, yeah.
And then.
No, but we don't have any meetings on the religious conference.
Same thing as-
That's not
So
true.
we,
Yeah, you're right.
I'll give them an opportunity to comment.
Right.
October.
I don't remember. I think there was like.
And then additional information, is 20 necessary? Do you have any potential conflicts of
No.
interest that we should be made aware of?
No, take that out.
I don't think we need that.
Well, so, all right, I think that, so
What do
just
you
my
think?
thought. So if someone comes on the committee that is a rep for Coke and wants to bring Coke into
Then
it,
we're not gonna select them, so don't worry about it.
No,
you don't want to pre-identify.
No.
no,
They'd be on,
No.
like, under employment.
No.
I don't want that,
No, I
no.
don't like it either.
I don't know about the references.
I don't either. I have necessary with question marks. I don't think it's necessary.
Because we're in the position. to-
Even, I have to ask you, even additional information, do you have any specific goals or expectations as a member of the committee?
They won't know until we
Yeah,
give them
I
the
would get rid
information
of
of the
that.
committee.
Make it a nice short form.
That's what I want.
You asked that at the beginning, like, why are you interested in joining? What are you passionate
Yeah,
about?
number 25, we want to
I
get.
do like number 21 though. Is there any
Right,
other
I didn't like it
information you'd like to
either. I
share
have
about?
necessary with a question mark. Yeah,
Yeah, Mr. 21 is good.
Oh, yeah, 25's gotta go too.
25 has to go.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah, so we just went to a nice
My
date.
numbers are screwed
Do
up.
you have any suggestions for improving the application process? This is the application process. It's going out already.
Yeah, but they might not like it.
Well, that's
we-
fine. At the
Exactly.
committee, we could say, we can ask them as a committee member, did you feel that this application was doable for you? And where do you think we can make changes?
You know, we
That's,
do at the end of the year.
yes.
We keep things.
We got rid of this.
I got
Oh,
rid
you
of,
got rid of it.
took out 20 also.
The numbers are, you have to see what they are because.
Oh, do you have any potential
I don't
conflicts of interest?
Yeah,
I took out now.
Under
Oh, okay.
additional information, did we take out do you have any specific goals and do you have an individual conflicts?
I think that should go.
I think that should go.
I think our.
I think 19 and 20, I'm gonna give it to you. Additional information, the first two, and then is there any other information you'd like to share with us? I also would take that, I don't
Yeah.
tell you why. You're opening up Pandora's box. What is it that they want to share with us?
All right, so if I could just play devil's advocate for a minute
Again,
and just like.
Ready? You have a moment. Let's go.
So are we recruiting or are we just saying, hey, who's interested?
Who's interested?
who's interested?
Who's interested?
So that's different.
Because that plays on.
I saw it differently.
So that's why.
I was kind of like, who wants to work
Well,
together?
see, that's why
collaborate
I
is
was
more
trying to be
like-
specific with what they were gonna bring to the table. So if someone comes with, hey, I happen to be really good in public finance, you know, that would be something.
Okay, so I have a suggestion for you.
Useful.
I have a suggestion for you. Get rid of additional information. Is there any other information pertinent to be participatory on this committee and put it under skills and experience?
Okay.
So you're saying like move 21.
Move 21,
Under skills
skills
and
and
experience.
experience.
That being the last question though, I don't know. if we
It is the last question.
That would be the last
That is the last
question.
question. We got rid of everything else.
And
It's
21.
done. That's it.
All right, then.
That's it.
That's it.
Only that.
Okay.
Nice.
Do that.
So, everybody give your mess to, Mr. Moraldo. I'll collect the mess.
If you can't understand.
Oh, he can.
My
Give me
spelling
my
and
handwriting.
stuff that I
You
have.
got- you
Just
good?
together.
Are we?
Yeah, I didn't thank you and I really thank you for doing this. Oh, and here's the letter. if you want.
I actually got off easy
That's what I
today.
do.
You did really?
No, and,
I felt like I was in English class all over again.
I'll prove it. This was an excellent
I
meeting.
felt like I was back in Catholic school when I was proofreading it.
Then you must have a nice handwriting if you want that.
I did, yes. We did the Palmer method when I was there.
The what?
Never mind.
All right, Mr. Payne.
Okay, anybody else have anything else to come before this meeting this evening?
We're gonna get rid of the draft.
Oh, yeah, take all of
Yeah,
the
we'll
trash,
take
just
everything
throw them
off the
out.
table. You have something else, Kate?
I just wanted
Ms.
to,
Mack.
I know Ms. Laura had mentioned it at the end of the curriculum committee, but
Thank you.
that was a few hours ago, so I just wanted to share for anyone who might be watching tonight that isn't aware. We're having a very exciting meeting tomorrow with our legislators.
Oh,
We have all three of our state legislators coming that represent Monroe to our legislative advocacy and community engagement meeting at 6 p.m. So we're very excited about having, some really good collaborative discussions with them. And, if you're interested in watching, you can attend in person to watch the meeting, or you can always watch it remotely, which I guess anyone besides our one audience member here is doing right now if they're hearing this, so.
Okay, if there's nothing else to come before the meeting, anybody want to adjourn it?
Have a good night, everybody.
Okay.
Enjoy.
No term, no second, okay, sorry, I'm sitting in Robert's